We interrupt our regular programming for this WPDE News Channel 15 special report.
Good evening from News Channel 15, everyone. I'm Keith Sterling along with Allison Floyd, breaking into programming to bring you the latest on the tornado that touched down today in Myrtle Beach just after 4 o'clock. Let's take a look once again at this dramatic video that we've been showing you all afternoon here on News Channel 15. Shortly after 4 o'clock today, a tornado made its way along the coast here in South Carolina. You can see it there by the 2nd Avenue Pier. Actually, reports of funnel clouds, several of them in several different areas along Myrtle Beach. Waccamaw Pottery near that area. Up in North Myrtle Beach, Restaurant Row area, we saw some damage there as well. And a water spout, 1 or 2 water spouts spotted off the coast, which eventually made their way inland. You're looking at the dramatic video taken by our tower cam above the Myrtle Beach Pavilion. Yeah, this was actually started as a water spout. It did come ashore. And as it came ashore, it actually merged with another one. So this is 2, which created the tornado over the 2nd Avenue Pier. As you can tell there, it didn't move for a long time. It sat there, and you can clearly see the funnel there in the center of it, and that the swirling debris around it, a lot of debris. We're going to take a look at some video now of some people who took shelter from this storm. If we can take a look at that now. This is along Highway 17 and 501. As you can see, some very smart people who got out of their cars, got under the overpass there, hiding from this storm, getting out of the way. Yeah, it's really about thinking on your feet. In a situation like that, of course, you see a funnel cloud, best thing to do is take shelter. And if you're out in the street, as a lot of people are at this particular time of the year, we have a lot of tourists visiting the Grand Strand, of course, 4th of July weekend, and a lot of people out and about enjoying themselves. And when the situation developed, seeking any shelter they could, and right there, as you see, under the bridge was about the best they could get. And as you can tell there, this is in Myrtle Beach along 6th Avenue North, some debris there, a tree down along 6th Avenue North, a lot of debris. We're going to hear now from someone who witnessed this tornado.
I saw coming out of Gold's Gym, right over there, funnel touched the ground, and when I got off on the exit, pulled up under the bridge, and it looked like it's curved back this way, and it went on around. As of right now, we're still unsure where it's going. But it looked like it may have, the funnel picked back up, and maybe it's going right back to sea. I'm not sure.
Okay. Tell me about your instincts to come up under the bridge.
Well, this is the safest place to be. You don't want to be under any power lines or on the road at any time, or a hotel on the top deck. You want to get to the lower ground as quick as possible.
I'm sure that's what a lot of people were doing as well, maybe sitting in their hotel room and looking out and seeing the storm approaching, getting down and out. Of course, the best advice there. Jim Armstrong, our reporter, has been hanging out in Horry County, checking out the scene for us throughout the afternoon. Joins us now with the latest. Jim, I guess a lot quieter now, huh?
Keith, a lot quieter now. The cleanup, however, is just beginning. If we take a look at what's behind me right now, just one of the houses that's an example of the damage the tornado earlier today brought. Roof is off this house. You can actually see it's been moved from its foundation, I'd guess, anywhere from 20, 25, maybe 30 feet towards the east. It's just some of the damage that we've experienced here. I'm standing on 2nd Avenue North in Myrtle Beach, probably about 150 yards or so from the ocean. A lot of people have since started to come out of their hotels right now. As you can see, the skies around me are clear. The sun is shining right now. People standing in the area, a lot of them with cameras, taking pictures actually of the damage. Santee Cooper was just working on that telephone pole that you can see behind me a little while ago, trying to restore power. I spoke with the Myrtle Beach Police a few minutes ago. They tell me the traffic lights were down for just a little bit, but power for the most part has been restored, with some exceptions like the houses that we just saw. A lot of debris clogging up the streets, as you can see around me. And again, a lot of people, officers are having a hard time trying to keep them under control, a lot of bystanders. Also the possibility, tragic, but it's something you need to think of, the possibility of looting with a lot of these homes that were empty or are empty now because of the severe damage. As you can see, emergency crews still working behind me right now. A little bit further down the road was actually a trailer, an RV that had tipped over as a result of the storm. They're working on righting that right now. Traffic is blocked off along most parts of this street. So again, as we said to you, as we have been saying to you all afternoon, if you can avoid coming to this part of the Grand Strand, please do so. Unless it's an emergency and you need to be here, avoid traveling on this part of Myrtle Beach, from Ocean Boulevard up the next several blocks, because at this time, cleanup crews and survey crews are just getting started in what's probably going to be several days worth of cleanup and assessment of what kind of damage was wrought here. Now, a photographer and I started the day in North Myrtle Beach, where damage, I can tell you from what I've seen myself, was moderate compared to what we're seeing here right along the Grand Strand. A lot of people say this was ground zero. This is exactly where one of the tornadoes made landfall, and you can see just by taking a look around me the amount of damage left behind and the amount of cleanup we still have left to do. Now, of course, Team 15 was the first to tell you about these events, and will continue to break into local programming to keep you updated on whatever you need to know. But for right now, live in Myrtle Beach, Jim Armstrong, WPDE News Channel 15.
Jim, before you go, I want to ask you a quick question. You're out there amongst the folks down there in that section of the Grand Strand. How would you describe their demeanor right now? I suppose a lot of amazement and a lot of thankfulness as well.
Keith, those are probably two of the words that I would have used myself. It's amazement that something like this happened. A lot of people were here, obviously, on vacation. Some of them still here from the 4th of July. So the Grand Strand, as we already know, unusually packed this week with people who hadn't left. They've all since left their hotels. A lot of the hotels, from what we can see here, were spared. Let's take another walk down there. You can see a lot of people still coming out right now and checking out the scene, many of them taking pictures, because as you said, a lot of what happened here today leaves people with the feeling of amazement. A, they can't believe it happened. B, they can't believe they survived it. Now, luckily, I did talk to Myrtle Beach Police a few minutes ago. Everyone survived it. Very, very minor damage, very minor injuries, rather, to speak of in terms of people who were here. A lot of people were on the beach, at the pavilion, walking on the road, as people do here on Ocean Boulevard, when this tornado hit. They had to seek shelter immediately. But from what rescue officials have said at this hour, it looks like everyone did that successfully, and everyone, thankfully, made it out safely.
All right. Jim Armstrong, thanks very much for the live report. Get back to you in a little bit. As Jim was telling you about some of the power outages in the area, most power has been restored. Earlier we had numbers of about 4,000 people out in Myrtle Beach, only down to 1,000 or 2 right now. And the crews have also had a difficult time getting around to restore some of that power, mostly because of some onlookers, pedestrians, and cars that are out and about checking out, as you just saw down there by 2nd Avenue, what has happened here in Myrtle Beach.
And they are asking that if you can, if you would stay indoors, please do stay indoors.
Absolutely.
There is a lot of traffic out and a lot of people who are out looking around. But the danger there is with all of the debris, the power lines down, that type thing, it can be very dangerous. Ed Piotrowski had said earlier that a lot of the injuries and deaths actually come after the tornado has hit. People getting electrocuted by lines that are down and that type thing. So you want to be very, very careful. If you cannot stay where you are, if your home is damaged and you need someplace to go or your hotel is damaged, the American Red Cross has opened a shelter at the First Presbyterian Church on 12th Avenue North and North Kings Highway. Now, you need to bring a change of clothes and toiletries. They will have hot coffee, food, and blankets available. No pets are allowed, though, at the Horry County First Presbyterian Church for the Red Cross shelter. But if you do need to go there, they are open for you.
Yeah, and as we told you, the shelter's open, as well as Red Cross workers are out and about. We have volunteers in the area, too, we're told, that keeping them fed and preparing for a night, I guess, many of us didn't expect to go through.
Definitely
Here
not.
in Myrtle Beach, of course, you know, severe weather makes its way through South Carolina quite often, but to this degree, not.
Well, unusual, as Ed had said earlier, too. Very rare for these waterspouts to come ashore like these did. And we had several tornadoes that we believe were spawned from this particular storm throughout the area.
Once again, as we leave you, we'd like you to take a look at the video taken from our tower cam at the Myrtle Beach Pavilion. 2nd Avenue Pier, just after 4 o'clock today, a tornado touches down in Myrtle Beach. Again, minimal injuries. All the danger at this point has passed.
And WPDE News Channel 15 has crews throughout the Grand Strand. We are out there getting video. You don't need to be out on the streets to see it. We will continue to bring you that throughout the evening this evening, and then again tonight on your local news at 11. We will have all the information that you need to know about these tornado touchdowns in Myrtle Beach. Have a good evening. We return you now to programming.
This has been a WPDE News Channel 15 special report. We now resume regular programming.